Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. I'd want to talk about only two things. This one from the Crypto Fundamentals. Black Swan Capitalist founder says XRP value lies beyond the charts. I just want to share something with you. In general, I share your opinion. But obviously there's more to it than that. This is why I'd like to spend some time discussing the topic. A legal expert's predictions about a timescale for a prospective appeal against Ripple's triumph also made headlines in the Crypto Basics. In addition, they report on the viewpoint of attorney James Murphy, better known as Metal Law Guy on X, formerly Twitter, now shortened to X. That calls for some information, too. But in any case, I value his opinion greatly. Even though I consider Attorney Dean to be highly thorough, he still told me certain things that I hadn't heard anywhere else about what might happen with this topic. However, you'll notice that each lawyer has their own unique perspective as you speak with them. However, there are situations when there is overlap. However, I learned certain things from this book that I had never heard before. I thought you should know. But before we part ways for good, let me state unequivocally that I have zero backing, either legal or financial. I am not qualified to give you financial or legal counsel. And you should not make any financial decisions based on what I write or say. I'm merely a hobbyist who finds some amusement in posting videos to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. You can leave if you don't like it. XRP's true worth, it seems, is not reflected in the charts. If your fear of magic is anything like mine, then you'll be interested to hear that Black Swan capitalist and XRP proponent Al Jarrah praised the cryptocurrency in a recent interview. Latest fell below the 70-cent mark, despite the assets. This guy ended up tweeting the screen's contents, which reads as follows, and I really need to read the article to make this point. I have trust that prices will eventually stabilize. The true value of XRP can't be shown in numerical form. Though I did my best to avoid doing so, there may have been instances where value and price were used interchangeably. Value, on the other hand, refers to the questions, what problems are actually being solved? What makes anything value beyond just its monetary cost? Why is it useful? Why is it doing that? When referring to true worth, then, if we're going to use good English, that's what we're talking about, and then there's the question of cost. Do we always mean the current market value of an asset when we talk about its price? In this context, XRP is being discussed. That being said, how much is it worth in relation to the US dollar, or another fiat currency, or a cryptocurrency, or any other trading pair? We were just discussing this very topic when you brought up the subject of cost. Because it helps real people with real problems, XRP is one of the most valuable cryptocurrencies in the entire universe. It's effective in resolving issues that are actually encountered by businesses. I think it's fair to say that the most well-known application of XRP is as a bridge currency by Ripple, but it's only the most visible of its many uses. And it's widely used because it helps individuals in practical ways. And so, it's true that there are swings in cost to consider. This November will be 6 years that I have never sold a single XRP, and that is because there is a compelling reason that I have been held that the price swings don't shake me. Consider that despite the ebb and flow, volatility, and stories surrounding XRP over the past 6 years, I have not sold a single coin. I haven't done that yet, but I hope to when the price is right. Not yet, at least. And so, the unshakable ups and downs, and the reasons for them. Utility matters and will ultimately triumph because of its value in the real world. That's a major point in my argument for investing. This has always been the case. That is still the case. This tweet from Black Swan Capitalist features an audio clip of Raoul Pal, a former executive at Goldman Sachs and an XRP owner. Then it was around $1. Remembering this is crucial. However, I believe it was little more than $1. From there, he said he anticipated a 10-fold increase in price. We're even lower than that. If he is correct, then we can expect a rise in the multiplier effects from the current level. However, she is extremely certain about that. And where do you think he goes right or wrong intellectually? He doesn't try to fool anyone with his words. In addition, I found that much of what he said to be accurate. In part, he was referring to how Ripple was presenting XRP as a bridge currency when he indicated that XRP's value was derived from its practical application. I'm paraphrasing, but he was saying something to the effect that XRP is going to play a huge role now that central banks are starting to issue digital currencies and their use is spreading rapidly. The point is that it can serve as a bridge currency with absolute certainty. He was, therefore, paraphrasing something. He is putting ideas into words. From the time I first dabbled in cryptography, that has been my consistent message. This discovery of XRP's utility is what initially piqued my curiosity and kept my attention fixed on it. And that, to me, is far more significant than some abstract concept of internet money. Reasons being given. That, not whether or not XRP can be used as currency, is much more crucial to me. It's fine if some individuals want to use it as currency instead of the US dollar. The rules don't apply to anyone. They own the XRP. However, my point is that there are further applications beyond that. And as long as they do, XRP is probably here to stay. Which is why I'm bringing it up now. The one thing he stated that I don't quite agree with is when he mentioned that XRP is where it is, and the price is what it is. However, this is not due to wild guesses, but rather to the actual usefulness of the concept. On the other hand, I do agree with him that values are important. But when he said that it wasn't because of speculation, I had to politely disagree. It seems very evident to me that the asset class moves in tandem, and I attribute this to the role that speculation plays in driving these markets. There's a good reason why XRP has consistently been among the top 10 cryptos by market cap. In addition, this statistic is used to allow the cryptos to compete with one another if one of them appears to be going too close to Bitcoin or too below it. And investors are thinking, that doesn't seem right, there should be some revenue there, and that's why it's important to understand that market capitalization is the chosen yardstick for comparing the performance of the cryptocurrency asset class. People will always consider market capitalization, therefore that won't change. Because of this competitive environment, the inflow and outflow of capital from and into XRP will be affected by the market capitalization of other coins. And it's the work of human beings. In addition, I believe that speculators are not given enough credit for their efforts. Because the price wouldn't move or liquidity be created without speculators. You wouldn't be able to contribute to the growth of these innovative business concepts without the involvement of all these people. They, along with Ripple's branding of XRP as a bridge currency, simply would not exist. No such thing could ever be. Consequently, yes, even supposing it's true that most people in the crypto space are merely making wild guesses. That can be quite helpful at times. And I think people don't give speculators enough credit. Sure, many of them are illogical and emotional, but trust me when I say that even if you consider them to be useful idiots, and many people do, they still serve a role. Moreover, this is inherent in the nature of markets. The same useful fools can be found in the stock market, too. It's exactly the same, genuine precious metals. I mean, I joke about it and refer to them as useful idiots, but it's not like I actually want to insult them. Simply put, in my opinion, it's illogical to base important financial choices on readings from your gasoline fields. But I think it's worth emphasizing that it is. I believe there are some people like me who don't use the fuel fields, but I'm also, you can call me a speculator, and that's great, since they are the ones who drive the price of XRP and every other crypto. Why? Because I anticipate XRP's value to increase significantly over time. And I've been convinced of it since 2017. The value far exceeds what I paid for it. Yes, it's 2017 again. So, I'm a speculator, but I'm not acting as a typical retail investor would. After I make a bet, I merely sit on my hands and wait to see what happens. Whether it rises or falls is of no concern to me. I don't see the use in it at the moment. The fact that we've seen some lows and some highs since the last peak doesn't make me assume that there won't be a new high at some point in the future. I don't buy that at all. I can see the value in that. In my opinion, that is more significant in the long run. Therefore, I am comfortable keeping some XRP on hand. That means I'm not alone in this world. And just so you know, not just the useful idiots are interested in XRP, it attracts individuals like me. And then, if you're listening to this, I'm ready to bet that you're a little bit more knowledgeable than the average living retail investor out there. We know there are others who share our appreciation for XRP's potential benefits. And yet, I repeat, it is speculation that ultimately determines the price. As you can see, I am not denying the connection between utility and value, rather, I am arguing that the two are inextricably linked. And I would say that the useful idiots are a bigger factor in the price activity that we see today. But if there are enough people like me who understand it, it doesn't matter how many panicking helpful idiots there are. Many more people will think, oh, well, that looks enticing and join in because of this. Also, I disagree with these nitwits. And I'm going to make a purchase right now to add to the pot. That's the extent of my reception. To conclude, the answer is yes. The true worth of XRP, you claim, is incalculable. Okay, you make a valid point there. Of course, you're right, you're centering your discussion on practical applications. I just wanted to paint a broader picture, because I don't think people sufficiently appreciate the extent to which speculators are driving the price of crypto, generally speaking. I'm going to cut to the chase and share what Metal Lawman, aka Attorney James Murphy, had to say. Latest in SEC v Ripple. What the SEC will do next is a hotly contested topic. Since no final judgment has been entered in the Ripple case, I count at least 4 potential courses of action, the first of which is to file a motion for interlocutory appeal. The SEC can't file an appeal on its own anymore. To file an interlocutory appeal, it would need approval from both Judge Torres and the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. It seems pretty clear to me that Judge Torres isn't going to allow an interlocutory appeal, which is essentially an expedited appeal, because it would take place before the trial even begins, and there isn't even a trial date set yet. Therefore, why would the judge lean toward granting the request for appeal here, given that it would be an interlocutory appeal, which is merely an expedited appeal? Honestly, I have my doubts that will occur. The SEC, he continues, would need to demonstrate, among other things, that the finding involves a controlling matter of law in order to be granted permission for an interlocutory appeal. Second, there are valid reasons to hold differing views on this issue. Thirdly, an instant appeal may significantly move the case forward. The SEC may make a strong case that these 3 conditions apply. There is no time limit on the initial inquiry. But it must be done quickly. Within 30 days is a good rule of thumb. If Judge Torres sides with the SEC, the agency has 10 days to appeal to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Another choice is available. SEC takes the aiding and abetting claim against Larson and Garland House to trial and appeals the decision the traditional way. That's fair, and it makes more sense than filing an interlocutory appeal, which they have the right to do, but which I doubt they will win. And maybe they will, but that would surprise me. The third option, in which section drops the claim against Larson and Garland House immediately and takes an immediate appeal, no permission needed, seems more reasonable and likely, if anything, than the idea of an appeal before the trial. That settles it, then. So consider this: if they did abandon the claim, an argument I haven't seen advanced by any other lawyers, please correct me if I'm wrong. The SEC has a strategic opportunity to clear Larson and Garland House of all accusations. Now that that's out of the way, you can proceed with a standard appeal without any requirement for an interlocutory appeal, as there will be no trial. You know, I hadn't come across anyone else who had thought of that. Yeah. And I thought, that's cool. But suppose the SEC actually took that action. I can't say for certain if they actually do it currently. Because he knows that these guys are conceited jerks with egos the size of the Grand Canyon, and admitting defeat at this late point might not seem good from their perspective. So, I don't believe it's likely, but I can't say for sure anyway. However, in principle, they could employ that tactic, which is fascinating to me. If they wish to increase the likelihood that their appeal will be successful, they could employ this tactic. Let me explain. The fourth possibility has also been decided upon. There you have it. They, too, could do so, I just don't see how. If anything, a settlement will only submit the case to a higher court, and I don't see how that helps the SEC. That which Judge Torres has already decided seems most likely to me. Perhaps now, in their haughty arrogance, they would. However, my point is that in my opinion, it will not benefit them if they do. That is all I want to say. That doesn't mean they definitely wouldn't, though. Since these individuals cannot be controlled, obviously. They're completely out of hand. And then Murphy says, I believe the SEC is likely to try option 1 interlocutory appeal, because there's tremendous political pressure on Gebser to get the Torres decision reversed ASAP, and the decision looms like a dark cloud over the SEC's cases against Coinbase, Binance, and Bittrex. And so, he may be correct in assuming that they will aim for it. Hey, and then Attorney Murphy wrote to the political concerns are essential. I'm just saying I don't think Judge Torres permits it, and I think the SEC recognizes that it's a long shot if they go for, but they could if they want to. The SEC looks bad since cryptocurrency exchanges all around the world are relisting XRP. Congressman Richie Torres, Democrat California, a progressive, and others have been emboldened to increase their criticism of Gensler as a result. Gensler and his supporters look bad here. At this moment, I don't see a settlement happening. It's unlikely that the SEC will reach a settlement with Ripple and let the Torres precedent go unchallenged in court. In this regard, Torres is right on the money. The SEC's whole program of regulation and enforcement directed at the cryptocurrency business rests on his success in achieving a reversal of this trend. However, as Attorney Hogan has stressed repeatedly over the past few months, it is also where the danger lies. This is overturned in higher courts if you want to obtain the TORs. If the higher court does not overturn the lower court's decision, it will be treated as final. When the statute of limitations expires in a regulation enforcement matter, it expires in section. Really sorry to hear that. The SEC will likely file a request for an interlocutory appeal within the next 2 weeks, according to Attorney Murphy. In my opinion, the appeals process should begin immediately rather than waiting a year. This would benefit both Ripple and the XRP community. As for the appeal, I'm a fan of the rippling effect. Yes, so I could be incorrect once more. No, I'm not a lawyer. On YouTube, I simply act the part. There you have it. However, I seriously doubt that TORs would permit such. The XRP community believes that it is in the best interest of Ripple for the appeals process to begin immediately. Nope, not me. I need more time to think about that since I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100%? Sure. What are you thinking about doing to get this over with as quickly as possible, given that it depends on like? That's a sound idea. Okay, but what about the speculation that the crypto asset class will once again enter a period of euphoria in the next year or two? A definition, please. So, how long would this process take? That's not going to happen, and I mentioned why in my most recent video. According to what I've been told by legal professionals, that won't be changing anytime soon. Off a regulatory standpoint, I don't see XRP ever being removed off exchanges, but at the very least, I don't see it happening in the next 2 to 3 years. Not likely to be taken out again anytime soon. But if there were an appeal and everyone knew we were in the process, would that doubt still exist? How much of an effect do you think it would have on the XRP price? It's possible. And it doesn't rule out the possibility of a big run for XRP, perhaps even to new all-time highs. But it did make me question whether there's more to the story than I was telling in my most recent video. Or, there are some folks who might legitimately be frightened by anything like that. For the simple reason that it wasn't anything I had thought about before. But, although I doubt it will have much of an effect, it's possible that there will be some minor negative consequences due to this change in the legislation. And XRP will still be available on trading platforms. So, I'm not sure, but I'm open to being convinced and would want to give it some more thought. Leave your thoughts in the comments area. In your opinion, what does that mean? I'll agree with you wholeheartedly if you provide a convincing case. If you want to know the truth, you can pretty much ask me. But let me just emphasize that I am not a financial counselor, therefore you shouldn't use my advice to make any investments or trades. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.